Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel for this Monday, November the 11th, Veterans Day. I want to thank and recognize all the veterans out there that have served this country, as well as those who are currently serving. So thank you all for your service. Starting off from the AP, FEMA, worker fired after directing workers to avoid helping hurricane survivors who supported Trump. And people wonder why the votes for Donald Trump were so overwhelming. A FEMA agency worker has been fired after she directed workers helping hurricane survivors not to go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Donald Trump, the agency's leader said in a statement Saturday. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. FEMA Administration Deanna Creswell said this was reprehensible. Or Deanne, I should say, Deanne Creswell. The agency did not identify the employee, nor did they say where it happened. Okay, well, in other words, like where the specific locations were. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis calling it targeted discrimination of Florida's residents who support Trump, said it happened in Florida. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip from the AP and go over here to the New York Post that has a little bit more detail. So this apparently is the individual here. And it says, avoid home advertising Trump, she wrote in a best practice memo to employees, a copy of which was obtained by Daily Wire. The instructions also advise them to stay hydrated and to follow the rules. All right. Follow the rules of avoiding people. Wow. You know, this is the vulnerability, you know, here. People in public service, really, I mean, this is just so incredibly shameful. She also gave the direction verbally, according to the Post. So she not only wrote it, but she also said it. Washington's sister, April Brown, I guess her last name is Washington. Brown, 39, claimed she was stunned to hear about her siblings' brazen actions. Yeah, I'm completely shocked, she said. I can tell you that she set out to help and serve all people. With her being at that position with FEMA, I can't see her doing anything like that. Well, it happened. So it's hard to say, you know, what goes on in people's minds. So implement best practices. No one goes anywhere alone. Avoid homes advertising Trump. And, you know, and everybody thought this was a rumor. They thought it was, you know, obviously a meme of sorts for attention and to go viral. But apparently it was, in fact, true. And it's indicative of what we have talked about here on the BuzWeaver channel this entire time, right? That the establishment uniparty has hijacked our culture, hijacked our institutions, and hijacked our justice system. From Ron DeSantis, the blatant weaponization of government by partisan activists in the Federal Bureau is yet another reason why the Biden-Harris administration is in its final days. At my direction, the Division of Emergency Management is launching an investigation into the federal government's targeted discrimination of Floridians who support Donald Trump. New leadership is on the way in D.C., and I'm optimistic that these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. And it is, yeah, I mean, as we've said here on the channel, you know, I feel vindicated. I feel like for all this time we had been talking and describing what had been going on, and it was like people ignored it. People were afraid to talk about it. And I think that's really the main issue, is that once the left hijacked our culture, our institutions, and the justice system, they were working towards hijacking language. And we already saw how they removed a sitting president from a platform like X here, or Twitter at the time. And the power they had was that they could silence people and keep people from being able to dissent against them, the left. And now we're seeing the repercussions of it with that victory, with the left, as we've said here, whose minds would break if Donald Trump won, but not only won the Electoral College, but also the popular vote, and it appears to be won the Senate and getting at least a majority perhaps, or winning the House. So right now, the reason that cities are not burning is because Donald Trump won the popular vote. And I believe that had he not won the popular vote, and it would have been, even if it was within like 1,000 or whatever, they would still scream mandate that the people of the country were disfranchised, and it would be a big mess. But thankfully, it worked out, exceeding our expectations here from the BuzWeaver channel from all of our predictions and what we were seeing. So it's just absolutely amazing, but not surprising. Another reason why we're seeing people, you know, vote for Donald Trump is from Homeland Security, because when people were saying $750 for victims, that's absolutely ridiculous. And they were claiming that there was no money there. And people were like, what do you mean there was no money there? Well, now we know why. Homeland Security, FEMA, Department of Homeland Security announces $380 million in additional funding to communities receiving migrants. $380 million. Today, DHS and FEMA and the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol announced the allocation of over $380 million through the Shelter and Service Program, SSP. Through the SSP, DHS directly supports communities that are providing critical support such as food, shelter, clothing, acute medical care, and transportation to non-citizens recently released from DHS custody and waiting their immigration court proceeding. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Are we seeing the corruption now unfolding, excuse me, before our very eyes? It is absolutely amazing to see that someone would reach to this level, of discrimination. And of course, it was always described by the left as the right that was dividing the country. But yet these are the people that label, characterize, categorize, stereotype groups of individuals. This group shouldn't talk to that group, and that group shouldn't be involved with that group, and that group should avoid this group, and we need to protect this group from that group. And it's clear as day, and it's absolutely astounding and disgusting to see that this employee from FEMA, the federal government, a person in a position, right, the vulnerability of people here during a terrible, awful storm, the public trust has been violated. And there's nothing worse than when the public trust has been violated. Even if it was a lone rogue individual, they use their position of power to assert their ideology, philosophy, and worldview, like we have seen with the left, and this is what they do. And this is why I said throughout all this time, the establishment uniparty had hijacked our culture, our institutions, and our Justice Department. We saw the lawfare. We're seeing it all fall apart now for them. And I think Donald Trump should go after these individuals. Absolutely. Bring it to light. Make it a fair trial. Make it a reasonable, fair court system and not the contrived banana republic that we saw with Donald Trump in New York. Now, these need to be fair trials. This need to be all done fairly and in the open and in the light so everyone can see and understand what all is going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you across New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. Below the video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so I encourage you guys to follow me there, as well as my affiliate links. So if you order frequently from Amazon or a Prime member, by all means, use my landing page link there as your bookmark. That way, when you go back to visit, it does help out the channel. But, of course, your likes, your shares, and your comments do help out the channel. So I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support through this 2024, tumultuous 2024, with an amazing ending. And we've got a lot of amazing things coming ahead as we see Donald Trump appointing so many different people. So appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notification. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.